Which star should the Lakers target if they can't get Kawhi Leonard?
Definitely not the last Kevin Love. I've seen enough of LeBron and Kevin Love. I don't want to see that anymore. That's a bad sequel. Like, no. This is puzzling because I'm still stuck on Kawhi. Kawhi is a better player than the rest of the people. You know, so why should I compromise if I want to get Kawhi? All these other players I got to trade for also. Now, probably don't have to trade as much, of course, but I know Kawhi is a better defender. I know Kawhi fits maybe better with LeBron than these other players. Now, Damian Lillard, now he's intriguing. Now, that's the one on the list that kind of jumps out at me.
Because we've seen that before. That's Kyrie. It's LeBron and Kyrie. I mean, at least to me, like, you know that fits.
Yes.
Like, so on the Kawhi note, tell me if you buy this. Because I feel like what's going on right now is there are the Lakers and the Spurs separately are trying to play a bit of a game of chicken and trying to use leverage via media reports. I think right now, all of a sudden, we are hearing more, and we heard that, hey, the Sixers could make the best offer. We are hearing the Clippers brought up a lot more. Now, I understand C's reporting accurately that Kawhi is cool with either team in Los Angeles. But the Clippers flatly, they don't have the ability to trade a draft pick, a first-round pick, for 4 years because of the Stepien rule and a trade they've already made, and they have no attractive young players unless you love one of the two guys they drafted this year. But we're hearing more buzz around the Clippers, maybe around the Sixers. Now, all of a sudden, we're hearing buzz, hey, the Lakers might just, what about Damian Lillard? I think both. I think the Lakers are still set on Kawhi. I think Kawhi is still, we know he's set on Los Angeles. I think it's probably going to be the Lakers. But I think there is maybe some misinformation going out there about to try to play the sides against each other. But to answer the question, it is absolutely unequivocally Damian Lillard. Like, even with Kawhi, I'd want Damian Lillard if I could get him. And keep in mind, Portland thought they were in the game for Boogie Cousins. Portland, it was C.J. McCollum, our friend, who tweeted out. He's like, man, I took a nap. I wake up. Boogie, what are you doing here? Let's call me. Like, so Portland thought they were going to try to ratchet it up. Boogie's now off the table. Now Portland's got to take a hard look in the mirror and say, are we better taking a step backwards? Are we better building around CJ than 27-year-old Dame? So I do think Dame's available. I also think Brad Beal could be available. That's another really good fit. I don't love the John Wall fit as much because Wall really needs the basketball in his hands, even though he's an excellent player. But Lillard or Beal, to me, are interesting fits alongside LeBron James. Great shooters. Beal's a good two-way player. Lillard's a better offensive player, not as good of a defensive player.
How long does all this take to shape out? I mean, what are we talking here? Could this go on for weeks? Could this go on until the season starts?
I mean, Kyrie.
To the trade deadline. That's what that is the official window. That's when you can stop talking about it because what if Washington gets off to a bad start? What if Toronto? Well, what if the new coach and everything is not necessarily working out? What about your man Dan Gilbert? He's a genius. LeBron's not there. They piling up them losses. Like, these things, no, we're going to continue to talk about it. It's going to be in the news.
I would put a slightly shorter timeline on at least some of this because they're not going to be able to do one of these guys and Kawhi. And the deadline for Kawhi, I don't believe to be the trade deadline. The deadline for Kawhi is before the start of the season. But remember, Kyrie got traded in August. The season, even though they moved up the start of the season won't begin until the middle of October. So I would say around training camp-ish, week 3 of the NFL season, like mid-September, is if something hasn't happened by then we are running out of days for that to happen.
We have to assume that LeBron assumed that when he started the season this year, it was going to be alongside another star, whether it was Paul George or whether it was Kawhi. No one thought LeBron would be the first one to land in L.A. We always thought, well, the assumption was that it was going to be Paul George and that was going to start the domino effect. But do you think he's a little disappointed, LeBron James, that the Lakers are, at least we don't know about, are sort of up in the air on who the next big star is that they're going to get?
No, I think Nick and I, through our conversations, we knew that LeBron was going to make his decision quick. So also in the basketball world, I know through talking to Kawhi's people, and I know through talking to Nick, who he's made contact with people, the Paul George stand in OKC was not a surprise. So LeBron, I would say, knew this, and he wanted to commit first to allow them the ability, because it seems like in the last 2 or 3 weeks, everything in Los Angeles with Paul George has been very, very cold. There hadn't been a whole bunch of messaging going on there.
And LeBron made his decision after Paul George made his. Paul George, remember, did it at 12:01. They had that party with Russ. Nas was there. So, like,
yeah, but the inside in the NBA,
it was already moving towards that.
Yeah, they knew that he was going to go back to OKC.
There was a report we discussed last week that LeBron was hesitant to be the first guy there. Again, so that goes back to my misinformation thing. I happen to believe that was a report that might have been generated in San Antonio, that might have been trying to get the Lakers to feel like, man, you know, you think you're getting LeBron. He hasn't signed yet. You better give the best possible offer for Kawhi right now. LeBron went there knowing Paul George was off the table, obviously not super excited about Boogie Cousins, as we discussed earlier, and knowing that the Kawhi thing, because Kawhi's not a free agent, could take some time. I do not think LeBron will be the only star in the Lakers come the beginning of the season. I do think they will make a significant move this offseason. They have the ability to do that. I still believe it'll be Kawhi. Now, I know we're going to get into later in the show. The Lakers are asking for everything except for Staples Center for Kawhi.
Yeah, I just don't know when the last time Magic Johnson was visiting some stranger at their house at midnight. You know, Magic there for a reason.
Yeah,
and that was to get LeBron to agree.
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.